Yeah, that was quite a...
Vote for Sheriff Joe, November 4th. Radio show back up to Phoenix.
Sheriff Joe.
I'm not sure. We're trying.
Great job.
Hey, that's a good one.
Vote for the sheriff.
I've been for about the last 3 years.
Protect our Constitution at the ballot box. General Jones, who founded the NVC, wishes he could be here. He'll be talking to Sheriff Joe later on today. He's with us in spirit. And General Jones is a great American. He was a personal friend of President Ronald Reagan. And if you remember, Ronald Reagan once said, "A country without borders is not a country."
Right.
So if you're a veteran, if you're a family or friends of a veteran, you can join the NVC. This is just one way to fight this battle at the ballot box and come out here and support people like Sheriff Joe, who stand up for the Constitution and puts America first. When we do see Sheriff Joe today, we're going to present him with the America First Award. And it's our small way of telling him thank you. But again, thank you for being out here.
Pride. But it's such an honor sort of see you in the first place as well. Sheriff, this will be an opportune time. I want to take this time to present you a plaque.
Okay.
This is on behalf of the National Veterans Coalition, and you're the first recipient of this award from our group. We have thousands of members, thousands of veterans across the United States. General Jones, who founded the NVC, can't be here today. I hope to have him speak with you later. But he's here in spirit, and our executive board met, and we wanted you to be the first recipient of the America First Award.
Yeah.
This is the America First Award presented to Sheriff Joe Arpaio. It's presented to Sheriff Joe Arpaio of Maricopa County, Arizona, for his departmental policy against illegal immigration and standing up for America. October 27, 2008, from the National Veterans Coalition. We'll defend it still.
It's a great honor, not just being the sheriff of Maricopa County, but also being an Army veteran. I joined the Army around the day the Korean War broke out, so you know how young I am. I was 18 years old, graduated from high school, turned 18, joined the Army, and been in the reserves and the CID. So I'm very proud of my military background. I think that it was a great thing to join young. I learned a lot, and because of that, I decided to put the Korean War tents up not too far from here. And ex-military, ex-law enforcement have one thing in common, that's to protect the United States of America. I served 12 years working the border as the head of the U.S. Drug Enforcement in Mexico, South America, Texas, Arizona, so I'm one guy that knows where Mexico is.
That's right. The border's that way.
So you hear a lot of politicians talk about what they're going to do about illegal immigration, and they wouldn't even know how to get to Mexico. But it's funny that the media will never talk about my background. I didn't just drop out of the sky to be the sheriff for 16 years. So I do have a little experience. Plus I was the only federal agent in Turkey in the Middle East. So I'm kind of have a little experience in the two hot spots facing our nation today, the Middle East and Latin America. We have to do something about our borders, not talk about it. It seems to be not very big problem with the presidential candidates these days. I don't see anybody talking about the illegal immigration, but you are.
That's right. We the people.
Represent the people.
That's right. Woo! Woo!
Cannot silence the people of this country on any issue, especially the illegal immigration.
That's right. Right.
So you got to understand the power of the people. Since I've been the sheriff, I always go to the people.
Right.
They're the ones that I serve.
That's right. Thank you.
I don't serve a governor. Where is it? Bureaucrats or politicians. It's the 4 million people that we know of that live in this county.
Right.
There's a few extra floating around. And I'm not talking about snowbirds. So that's the power of the elected sheriff. I feel very strong about that. That's not the only thing we do. We do fight crime, not just illegal immigration. And I also run the jails. But we do fight all aspects of crime. But Thomas and I were the only ones enforcing the illegal, the human smuggling law, where we arrest everybody that's part of that co-conspiracy, and nobody else does that. That's a class 4 felony. I like to know why nobody enforces a state law. Everybody complains and they say it's a federal issue. Federal issue. We always blame the federal government. But you know, we got state laws to enforce. You can't blame the federal government for the state laws that we have. And I get a little irritated about that. Mention they're illegals, we become the bad guys. We've arrested over 100 in the employee businesses for identification theft. Identification theft, but nobody talks about ID theft. That's #1 issue facing our state. But when they're illegals, we're the bad guys. It's very complex. It's a diplomatic problem, a law enforcement problem, and very complex. So I have very good compassion for the Mexican people. I lived there for 4 years, used to deal with the Attorney General and other officials. I have compassion. However, you must obey the law. So my compassion is overridden by the oath of office I took. So that's the only difference that I have, is to enforce the law. If you don't like the law, go change the law.
Say that louder.
But once you have the law on the books, it should be enforced. We're the greatest country in the world. We can solve any problem if you want to solve.
Yeah.
Any problem.
We do.
Any problem.
Sheriff Joe, we got a drug war going on in Mexico. Will it take our military on the border to stop it from coming over?
You know what, that was my big job with the federal drug enforcement, the international drug traffic. Quite frankly, I have a little problem with the military taking over police work. I had offices in Panama and run by the military, the police. I have a little problem with that. If you want to enhance your operations, hire more law enforcement officers. Because once you give them control at the border, they may be on Interstate 17 with the machine guns and the tanks. So I have a little problem with that. The military is good as a supplement. They have been down there for many years for intelligence gathering and that type of thing. We need more border patrol. We have to back up our border patrol. They have a tough job down there at that border. It's not an easy job being a border patrol agent. So we have to do something on the drug problem. That's causing a lot of problems here too. And illegal immigration is connected with the drug problem. When you look at Afghanistan, I wish they'd drop a few extra bombs in Afghanistan on the opium fields, because 90% of the heroin comes from Afghanistan. And a lot of that money is used for terrorism. Even when I was in Latin America, they were using the drug money for revolutions. So we forget the drug problem. I'm glad you asked about that. Where's the drug? Where's the big issue on drugs? Where is the issue on crime? We got 2 people running for president. Has anyone talked about crime and drugs and illegal immigration?
No, not a peep.
That's what's facing our country, destroying our young people on this drug problem.
Sheriff Joe for president.
That's right, Sheriff